They told him he was dead to them. His mother's trembling hands shoved the family photo into his chest, her voice cold and final. If you walk out that door in uniform, you walk out of this family. Nathan's throat burned, but he said nothing. He simply turned, the photo frame pressed against his ribs like a final blow, and stepped into the storm. Years later, in the suffocating heat of a hostage standoff, his family would beg for the help of the man they had cast out. But on that day, all they saw was betrayal. Nathan joined the military against his family's wishes. His father called it a foolish death sentence. His mother called it a shame. They had built their world around peace, intellectual debates, soft hands. To them, war was barbaric. Soldiers were tools, not sons. Nathan saw something else. He saw fallen flags at dusty crossroads. He saw folded uniforms and silent coffins. He saw faces, the ones who would never come home unless someone stood in front of the bullet. He chose to be that someone. 10 years carved stories into the lines of his face. Scars traced his arms like faded ink. He carried the weight of comrades lost in distant deserts, their voices etched into his memory, their birthdays never celebrated again, but his silence was his armor. He never wrote. He never called. And his family never asked, until the day their safe world collapsed. It was supposed to be a quiet Sunday service. His parents, his sister, and over 100 others sat in the ornate chapel, sunlight bleeding through the stained glass. When the armed men stormed in, silence swallowed the congregation. The attackers sealed the doors, their demands echoing through the marble walls. Political leverage, televised chaos, hostages as currency. Panic clawed at the hearts of the trapped. No one moved. No one dared, except one man, a stranger among the crowd, his broad shoulders wrapped in a plain jacket, head bowed in unassuming stillness. Nathan. He had returned from his deployments unnoticed, a ghost in civilian clothes. And fate, with its brutal sense of timing, had placed him here. His father recognized him first. The stoic profile, the scar near his temple, the way he moved, deliberate, calm, like the storm was his oldest friend. But shame is a stubborn chain. His father did not call out. The armed leader barked orders, dragging the trembling priest to the pulpit. They chose hostages at random. Nathan's mother, his sister, fear burned through his veins, but he remained still. One of the gunmen shoved his sister to the ground, pressing a boot to her back. Nathan's hands tightened into fists, his breath steady, measured. Combat had taught him patience. Rashness gets people killed. Silence saves them. He calculated exits, counted assailants, measured distances. His family's eyes flicked to him, desperation blooming where old anger used to live. Still, he said nothing. You're just going to stand there? His father's whisper, laced with guilt, barely reached him. Nathan's gaze was a stone wall. Sometimes words are too small for what a man carries. He had seen this before. In a village overseas. In a market under siege. The same chaos. The same fear. And he knew how to end it. A guard near the side entrance shifted his weight, lowering his weapon for a split second. That was all Nathan needed. In a blur, he disarmed the man, moved like a shadow, disabling one, then another. The congregation watched, breathless, as the silent stranger dismantled the threat with the precision of a man who had done this many times, in many places, where no one knew his name. The last remaining attacker seized his mother, pressing cold metal to her temple. Drop it. The man roared. Nathan's weapon clattered to the floor. He raised his hands, stepping forward, calm as the sea before a storm. His mother sobbed. His father's knees buckled, powerless. Why would you risk your life for these people? The attacker snarled, pressing the gun harder against her skin. Nathan's voice, low and steady, finally broke the silence. Because some battles are worth fighting, even when the ones you fight for no longer believe in you. The words hung heavy, undeniable. The distraction was enough. A final, swift move, and the man was disarmed. When it was over, the authorities stormed in. Reporters gathered like vultures. Cameras captured the aftermath, the survivors clinging to the one man they had once banished. His father approached him, his voice fractured and hollow. I was wrong. Nathan's reply would echo across social feeds and hearts. Sometimes, the people we save are the ones who gave up on us first. The congregation stood, a silent wall of gratitude. The ones who had watched in stillness. now honored him with the only gesture that mattered, a quiet, unified bow of respect. His mother wept as she touched his face, her regret pouring through trembling fingers. Some wounds don't need words to heal. They need presence. They need sacrifice. Nathan turned to leave, his mission complete, his silence intact. But this time, his father called out, "Son, please stay." And for the first time in a decade, Nathan paused. Some stories are not about revenge or pride. They are about coming home when no one asked you to. They are about standing firm in battles no one else dares to face. They are about silent heroes. If this story touched you, share where you're watching from in the comments. And if you believe in honoring the quiet warriors among us, subscribe for more stories that reveal the unseen battles behind everyday lives.